It's Wiki Wednesday, and today we're learning about the next Chinese zodiac animal, the goat. The goat, along with the next two animals, the monkey and the rooster, work together to build a raft across the river. Those born in the year of the goat are predicted to be shy, introverted, creative, and perfectionistic. The only goat I have seen was the baby one my mommy held after her wedding at a zoo, but Daddy fixed it, so I'm in the photo instead. Good Daddy. Daddy also shortened this article a lot for me, but the link to the original is in the description below if you want to read along. Goat facts for kids. The domestic goat is a domesticated mammal. A male goat is called a buck, a female is called a doe, and young goats are called kids. People eat their meat, drink their milk, and use their fur and skin. With goat milk, cheese can be made, along with other dairy products. Some farmers use goats to eat plants the farmers do not want, called weeds. Other times, the goats are used to keep grasses and other plants from getting too tall. Goats eat both weeds and give milk. They sound super useful. The domestic goat has cloven hooves, a long beard on its chin, a short tail that turns up, and horns that grow up from the head in an arc. The hair is straight with a woolly coat under it during the winter. The diet of the domestic goat includes eating grass, leaves, shrubs, root vegetables, and other kinds of plants. Some ranchers use goats to clear brush and unwanted plants from their pastures. Goats that live in the desert, where plants are hard to find, have been seen climbing trees to get food. Domestic goats are smart and active. They enjoy playing and climbing. They are social animals that live in groups. Anatomy and health. Most goats naturally have two horns, of various shapes and sizes depending on the breed. The horns are most typically removed in commercial dairy goat herds to reduce the injuries to humans and other goats. Their horns are made of living bone surrounded by keratin and are used for defense, dominance, and territoriality. Both male and female goats have beards, and many types of goats may have wattles, one dangling from each side of the neck. Mommy makes Daddy shave his beard every day. Diet. Goats are reputed to be willing to eat almost anything, including tin cans and cardboard boxes. While goats will not actually eat inedible material, they are browsing animals, not grazers like cattle and sheep, and coupled with their highly curious nature, will chew on and taste just about anything remotely resembling plant matter to decide whether it is good to eat, including cardboard, clothing, and paper, such as labels from tin cans. The unusual smells of leftover food in discarded cans or boxes may further stimulate their curiosity. I like to chew on things too. Maybe I'm part goat. Aside from sampling many things, goats are quite particular in what they actually consume, preferring to browse on the tips of woody shrubs and trees, as well as the occasional broadleaf plant. However, it can be fairly said that their plant diet is extremely varied and includes some species which are otherwise toxic. In various places in China, goats are used in the production of tea. Goats are released onto the tea terraces where they avoid consuming the green tea leaves which contain bitter-tasting substances, but instead eat the weeds. The goat's droppings fertilize the tea plants. Mommy and I don't like bitter tea. Yuck. But it's fun to try and hide Daddy's iced tea jug. Behavior. Goats are naturally curious. They are also agile and well known for their ability to climb and balance in precarious places. This makes them the only ruminant to regularly climb trees. Due to their agility and inquisitiveness, they are notorious for escaping their pens by testing fences and enclosures, either intentionally or simply because they are used to climb on. I'm not a great climber, but I can jump with the best of them. If any of the fencing can be overcome, goats will almost inevitably escape. Due to their intelligence, once a goat has discovered a weakness in the fence, they will exploit it repeatedly, and other goats will observe and quickly learn the same method. I know how that goes. My friend Chi taught me to climb stairs when my mommy and daddy didn't want me to. When handled as a group, goats tend to display less herding behavior than sheep. When grazing undisturbed, they tend to spread across the field or range, rather than feed side by side as do sheep. When nursing young, goats will leave their kids separated rather than clumped, as do sheep. They will generally turn and face an intruder, and bucks are more likely to charge or butt at humans than are rams. Goats were first domesticated as livestock more than 10,000 years ago. Research conducted to test communication skills found that the goats will look to a human for assistance when faced with a challenge that had previously been mastered, but was then modified. Specifically, when presented with a box, the goat was able to remove the lid and retrieve a treat inside. But when the box was turned so the lid could not be removed, the goat would turn and gaze at the person and move toward them, before looking back toward the box. Kind of like how I bark until Mommy rescues my precious tennis ball from underneath the couch. This is the same type of complex communication observed by animals bred as domestic pets, such as dogs. Despite having the reputation of being slightly rebellious, more and more people today are choosing more exotic companion animals like goats. Goats are herd animals and typically prefer the company of other goats, but because of their herd mentality, they will follow their owners around just the same. Aw, they just love their families. I follow my parents around the house all day long. Agriculture. A goat is useful to humans when it is living and when it is dead. First as a renewable provider of milk, manure, and fiber, and then as meat and hide. In addition, goats are used for driving and packing purposes. Land clearing. Goats have been used by humans to clear unwanted vegetation for centuries. They have been described as eating machines and biological control agents. There has been a resurgence of this in North America since 1990, when herds were used to clear dry brush from California hillsides thought to be endangered by potential wildfires. This form of using goats to clear land is sometimes known as conservation grazing. I may have been known to eat the grass in my backyard from time to time, too. Use for medical training. As a goat's anatomy and physiology is not too dissimilar from that of humans, some countries' militaries use goats to train combat medics. In the United States, goats have become the main animal species used for this. While modern mannequins used in medical training are quite efficient in simulating the behavior of a human body, trainings feel that the goat exercise provides a sense of urgency that only real-life trauma can provide. This is what my daddy does sometimes when he leaves me home to go to work. Once I even got to meet one of these medical mannequins. It was cool. Religion, mythology, and folklore. According to Norse mythology, the god of thunder, Thor, has a chariot that is pulled by goats. The Greek god Pan is said to have the upper body of a man and the horns and lower body of a goat. Wow, goats are super cool and useful to people. I'm still glad Daddy helped me to replace that baby goat in Mommy's arms, though. She would rather hug me anyway. I particularly liked all the examples of goats being curious like puppies, and kids too. I know all of you are curious to find out what happens next to Lad on Fiction Friday, and even more curious about my next Music Monday song, so be sure to come back and check out all the fun. Thanks for learning with me today.